Praise the Lord. We're here again, and we're just teaching because I believe that God has called me to speak to our at-risk youth, to let them know how to stay out of prison. We want you to be S.O.O.P. We want you to get it in your heart. You might say, well, why are you doing this type of teaching? Some things we have to say. Some things we have to say. When I was growing up, my mother used to take me to the side and she would say, you are just as good as anybody else. She had to say that. And I'm sure a lot of people growing up around my time, they should say, you are just as good as anybody else in any other race. There was a song that came out that James Brown sung, and he said, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. These things had to have been said. It seems like, why would anybody say such a thing? But some things need to be said, and our at-risk youth need to hear these things that we're saying so that somebody can speak. Now, we've been talking about recreation and how songs are made for recreation. But you can hear certain lyrics and wonder why murder, for example, is becoming recreation. When I talk to different inmates about prison, some of them say, like I said, they're just having fun and end up in prison. Another thing that they talk about is being broke. Tired of being broke. Well, I did a search on tired of being broke and found out that there were many modern day songs about tired of being broke, and each one suggests taking a gun and robbing somebody or selling drugs. We want to talk about that. Tired of being broke. Today, your education is very important. Now, even in the political arena, they're talking about how the middle class is getting smaller and smaller, and it's going to come a time in the United States that is predicted that there's going to be people that have money and people that don't. And there's no middle class anymore. Either you got it or you don't. And when you are poor, you are very much at risk. Tired of being broke. You're tired of being broke. I'm speaking to somebody, you're dealing with whether or not you should drop out of high school. Let me tell you something. 50% of the young black men today are dropping out of high school. That means that you are not going to get a job that pays a decent salary dropping out of high school. Now God can do anything, and it's possible. But if you drop out of high school, you're going to have to get a GED or something. Because when you go to fill out a resume, you're not going to get a high-paying job. You need to get a skill. So if you're tired of being broke, don't go out and sell drugs. If you're tired of being broke, the solution is not to rob anybody and end up in prison. The solution is not to sell drugs, but the solution is stay in school right now. You have a free education. You know, get out of the streets, staying up all night and sleeping all day. Get in school. Listen to those teachers so you can get out of the ghetto, so you can get off the streets, and you can get a decent paying job. 50% is predicted that's going to continue, 50% plus, without a high school education. So when you go to get a factory job, they're even hard to find factory jobs now that'll pay anything at all. They're debating about raising the minimum wage. That's one issue. Another thing, when you drop out of school, you're more likely to use or sell drugs. And that's what the song says, slinging rocks. The song says stand on the corner and do a hustle, selling crack. Do you know that if you begin to sell drugs, you are very much at risk? The neighborhoods, the poor neighborhoods are being watched all the time. And everybody, I don't know if you heard about it or not, but there's a war on drugs. But who's doing the drugs? The war on drugs is a war on poor black men without any education, standing on the corner trying to sell drugs, and you'll get arrested for a little bit of crack. You're looking at 5 to 10 years just to have a little bit of drugs on you. If you have it in separate bags, you're getting locked up with intent to sell. Tired of being broke and selling drugs is not an option. Once you get caught doing drugs, guess what? All the marching and all the different things that we've done, I say we because even at the age of 8, I had been in sit-ins sit-ins, trying to vote and to get equal opportunities, trying to fight for equal opportunities. That means that if you are qualified for a job, you cannot be denied because of the color of your skin or whether you're a male or female or how old you are. You cannot be denied. Equal opportunity now. But listen, if you have a felony, if you get out there and do drugs, you are now taking a step back. You're taking a step back 50 years in time or 30 years in time where you can be discriminated against because you fill the application and they don't have to hire you no matter how much education you got if you have a felony. All the fighting and marching so that blacks can have a right to vote, and you get out there in the corner and you sell drugs and you get a criminal record, now you don't have a right to vote. Again, 50% of our black men who have gone through the prison system that have felony crimes cannot vote. They can legally be discriminated against and cannot get good paying jobs. These are our fathers. These are our uncles. These are potential husbands. Listen to Pastor. Listen close. Stay in school, man. Get a good education. Get a trade. You're tired of being broke? Don't go sell coke. Don't go rob a liquor store and go rob another one or rob some more. You tired of being broke? You stay in school so you can stay out of prison. God bless you. Stay soon and stay out of prison. Love you.